Today we're going to take a look at how to use cookies with the new 2D lighting system in Unity 2020. As an example, we're going to use a Klaxon or a spinning light to show off how you can create really cool effects with the new 2D lights. And I've created a basic level with a 2-layer tile map. You've got the platform layer on the outside and a background layer. When we hit play, the tile map will take up the whole camera. I've gone ahead and added a global 2D light, which is currently our only light source in the scene. Also in the scene, I've got two sprites, the actual light itself, and the cookie that we're going to use to create the lighting effect. So let's go ahead and drag the sprite into our scene. Now if we take a look, it's right there. We're going to stick it over, maybe in the corner over here, to create the effect we want. Then we need to create a new sorting layer, and we're going to call this light. And from here we are going to add the Klaxon to the light layer. So now we've got it and we can see it. It's overlaid on top of the other two layers. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of align this in the middle, one of the tiles. Then we are going to go ahead and add the light. Now we can simply hit add component, type in 2D light, and it's going to say 2D light experimental. And for the light type, we're going to switch it to a point light. And from here, we're going to make a couple adjustments to the settings. The volume of opacity will allow us to create some shadows. And then we're going to turn the shadow intensity and shadow volume intensity all the way up to 1. We're going to turn our color for the light red and increase our outer radius to 4. Now, so far, nothing's happening. You can't see any light, and that is because we are targeting the default layer, which nothing is on. So we're actually going to switch this to target the background layer and the platform layer. Now, you'll notice it's not really on the platform layer, and that's because we increased the shadow, and the platform layer has its own shadow caster. If we were to turn this off, you'll notice then the light is on it. Adjusting the settings, the shadow settings down here will allow it to show up a little differently based on however you'd like that. For our purpose, we're going to keep it at 1 and 1. We're then going to increase the intensity to maybe, let's say, 2. Yeah, we could probably do 3. Like that. We want it kind of bright. And maybe the inner radius on this, we'll just do a 1. So we get kind of a bright center. Now, this just looks like a red light on the wall. If we hit play, you can kind of see it's just a red light on the wall, which is cool, but it's not really the effect that we're going for. We want a spinning kind of spotlight effect. So this is where our cookie comes in. So let's go down here and grab our cookie, and we're going to drag it over to the cookie field on the light. And suddenly, our light looks like a spotlight. So if we go ahead and hit play, you'll notice that we've got this spotlight effect, and it's still the circular light, except it's only casting in the white parts of the cookie sprite. Now there's one thing, if you actually zoom in here, you'll notice. Let's get out of game view and just kind of zoom in here, and you can notice that this doesn't quite line up right. Why this happens, I'm not entirely sure, but it's quite an easy fix. So what we're going to do is go ahead and create a game object under the light, and we'll just call this light. So we're just going to offset slightly. For the sake of time, I've already figured out what that should be. Half a pixel. We're using a 32-bit setup here, so half a pixel in Unity equates to that number. And it still looks weird. So what we have to actually do is bring the light from the top level down to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this component and then remove it from there, go down to the light, and paste component as new. And notice it lines up perfectly. Slight offset is all we needed. So if we actually took that back off, you'd have the same problem. But now we've slightly offset it. Now if we go and hit play, you can see that the light lines up perfectly. But still, not really the effect that we're going for. We need to spin around. And this is actually quite easy to achieve. So I've gone ahead and created a very basic script. We can open this up and just take a quick look at it. It has one variable, speed, which is going to be the number of revolutions per second. And then in the update method, we're simply going to rotate the transform around itself at the velocity of speed. And we specifically are rotating around the z-axis because this is a 2D game. So what we need to do is go back to the Klaxon object, not the light, but the whole Klaxon. And we're going to find that script and add it. Now if we hit play, we get a wonderful spinning effect. Now that might be a little fast, so you can just drop this down to maybe 0.5. So half a rotation per second. If you wanted it really fast, you could put it up to something crazy, but that's probably not a good idea. You do a really slow spinning by dropping that down, or a little faster. I'd say 0.5 is probably a good one. And there you have it. A Klaxon effect with the new 2D lights in Unity 2020. Thanks for watching. All the project files that you saw here are available on GitHub via a link in the description. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icons for notifications of future tutorials.